Yo, what's going on, Titan Nation? How everybody doing? Welcome into Titans and True. I'd like to apologize to everybody that I wasn't able to record last night. I had some stuff going on, and I have an earlier shift now, so um, I have to get up a little bit earlier for work instead of burning the midnight oil and recording. But I wanted to show y'all some love this morning and just go live here and do a quick Titans and Truth before I start my shift today. So this is what I'm thinking about what's going on. The Titans had a 3 game losing streak, and now they're on their bye. They had their bye week, and I think this is a bye week of reflection, going back to the drawing board. You got to figure out what works for you. You got to figure out what you do well and do it better. Um, you got to find out, fix some things that didn't go right, and expand on some things you did do right, which on the offensive side of the ball, probably not a lot of things that went right. And they need to find some consistency. They need to find that one guy that can ignite this entire offense. Because right now, I don't know who that's going to be. You know, will it be Marcus? I don't know. I mean, Marcus is a very I think Marcus can be a very good quarterback. I think he is a franchise quarterback. We got to give him an opportunity. And, I think also it's because, you know, you've had the you've had the same offense for, you haven't had him in the same offense consistently. He's always had a different offensive coordinator. Out of his 4 years, he's had 3 offensive coordinators. Three. You had Ken Wisenhunt, Terry Robisky, now Matt LaFleur. Gotta have some consistency. Aaron Rodgers has been good all this time. Why? Because, sorry about that, I had to put the light on. Aaron Rodgers has always been good offensive coordinator all his years. You know, Philip Rivers had Ken Wisenhunt all that time. Wisenhunt left and then came back to San Diego, hasn't missed a beat. Um, a lot of players are there's quite a few quarterbacks that are like that. You get around a certain system and it works for them. It really works for them. So I think Marcus just needs some time to actually have this system down and have some continuity in the coaching. And so I think he has that. He's gonna be okay. Um the wide receivers, man. Wide receivers need to get some dog in them, especially Corey Davis. And I really like Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis could be our number one receiver. He's got to be more consistent. He can't let that one game against the Philadelphia Eagles be his one and only breakout game. He's got to do some more. He's got to have a couple of games like that. Taywan Taylor, I've kind of given up on Taywan Taylor, to be honest. I think Taywan Taylor, he's reaching his ceiling right now. He drops too many passes and isn't running routes correctly. Y'all know how I feel about Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith sucks. I'm not really going to go into him. Tajay Sharp, if he can have another consistent game like he had against LA, maybe he doesn't have to have a 100-yard game, but he can have like another 6-catch, 89-yard, maybe 1 touchdown performance. That's fine. That's kind of what I would expect from a Tajay Sharp. Justin Fowler being signed, that probably should help the running game a little bit more. Maybe it'll help get Derrick Henry going, because Derrick Henry looks like Tarzan and kind of runs a little bit like Jane, trying to make people miss and stuff like that. That's not what he should be doing. What he should be doing is trying to flat out run people over. That's what he should do best. Let Dion Lewis be the guy to make guys miss. Because right now, this is Dion Lewis's backfield. Dion Lewis is playing like the big-time running back at times and not Derrick Henry. So, Derrick Henry needs to get it together. Offensive line really needs to be consistent. I think, Taylor Lewan, Taylor Lewan's going to be fine. I'm not worried about Taylor Lewan. I'm not worried about Jack Conklin. I think Jack Conklin's still working his way back from injury. The interior of the offensive line is just not that good. I think that's somewhere in free agency or in the draft. They're going to have to address the interior of the offensive line. Definitely either both guard positions and the center as well. So I think that's something that they take a look at. But offensively, they just got to be consistent. They just got to get a couple plays going, build some confidence. And I think that's where we're having a lot of issue. Confidence, I think, is an issue. And so, and I think a lot of that falls on Marcus. Attitude reflects leadership. And I don't expect Marcus to be the rah type of guy. And this is something I was talking with Teron Davenport, beat writer for the Titans through ESPN. We were talking earlier this week, and he felt like, you know what? Marcus isn't that rah type of guy. He's not going to have that mean streak. This is who he is. You can't expect him to change. And he's right. This is who he is. And I think what he has to do is be a silent assassin. Show it with your play on the field. You don't necessarily have to be just rah all in your face saying, yo, do your effing job. Do your effing job. He ain't got to do all that. Show it through your action and let that be the catalyst. So I think that's something Marcus has to do. And I think with coaching getting better, LaFleur has to get better at calling plays. He does that. I think that helps Marcus, and in turn, that helps the offense as well. Now, defensively, got to continue to get some more pressure on the quarterback. Orakpo Morgan, no sacks. Harold Landry had the one sack, but since then it's been quiet. I haven't heard from him. Kamale Correa had a couple of sacks early on. Hadn't heard from him either. So the pass rush really needs to step up. Casey needs to get a couple more sacks. I think he had a half a sack against LA in London, but he's really been our only pass rusher. So Casey needs to continue to get some more sacks and things like that as well. I think the run defense got a lot better. I think most of that was due to the fact that Melvin Gordon wasn't playing, so that helped a lot. But they still did pretty well against the run anyway, because a lot of people were talking about Eckler being pretty good coming out of the backfield as well, and they actually did a pretty good job against him. But Harold Landry and Rashaan Evans, our first two draft picks, I expect a lot more out of them, and right now they're not showing it yet. But I think it's coming. So it's too early to tell with Landry and with Rashaan Evans as well. But I think they're coming along. Woodyard being back does help. Did help a lot. Kenny Vaccaro is going to be coming back from injury. Looks like he's going to be good to go for this game as well. And the secondary. Logan Ryan gave up that inexcusable touchdown. You cannot be focusing so much on the quarterback. Yes, you need to focus on the guy that is you need to focus on the guy that you're covering and quit trying to do somebody else's job. Do your job. Do your job. And then you can worry about somebody else. You don't just let some other guy, you don't let Tyrell Williams get behind you and burn you like that. So, while you're looking at the quarterback, he runs past you for a 70-yard touchdown. And, I think that's our discipline. I think Logan Ryan knows better than that. Malcolm Butler knows better than that. And I think he might be starting to get a little bit better, even though they're taking him out of the base defense. Adoree Jackson is, steady, solid, not game-breaking yet. But he does have 2 interceptions on the year, which right now he's showing he's the best corner on the team right now. But I expect more from Malcolm Butler. I expect more from Logan Ryan. I think Logan Ryan, for the most part, has been solid. He just kind of had a little bit of a bad break on that play. But for the most part, Logan Ryan's been pretty good. I just think all around, we just need to be consistent and get better, get out of this slump. And I thought the Titans were, make a move at the trade deadline, but y'all have heard me all this time say I thought John Robinson should make a move, but I don't think he will make a move. And it turned out to be absolutely right. John Robinson did not make a move. Paul Kaharski came out and said that, John Robinson talked to at least 7 teams. Teron talked to me the other day and said, hey, John Robinson tried. He tried. He definitely was on the phone making calls. But the question is, how active, how aggressive was he? Was he really out there being aggressive? Was he really out there trying to make a trade, or was he just kicking the tires? And I think John Robinson may have been just kicking the tires, maybe just trying to gauge a little bit of value. He wasn't really trying to trade anybody, because y'all know John Robinson loves his draft picks. And I think that's the problem. I think John Robinson has a little bit too much faith in Taywan Taylor and Jonnu Smith, to a lesser extent, Corey Davis, because he drafted those guys. And he doesn't want to say, you know what, I failed. I picked the wrong guys. I should have drafted somebody else. I think that's what John Robinson doesn't want to do. But he may have to admit that, Now, I agree. I think Demaryius Thomas for a 4th would have been fine. Even though he is 31, about to be 31, and he does have the dropsies, but I think every receiver has some drop issues. Every receiver does. It's not too many receivers that catch absolutely every ball that comes their way. And there may be a few, AJ Green, Julio Jones, of course. But even them have their drops every now and then. Tate for a 3rd rounder, I think it's a little bit too high, but I understand the Eagles doing that. Golden Tate would have been nice, but would he have really took the top off the defense? I don't think so. But I think Golden Tate would be a nice addition. He would have been a really good addition. Demaryius addition. I think both of them would have made them the best receivers on the team already. Give me a second, y'all. Gotta have my smoothie in the morning, y'all. So, kind of hate that the Titans didn't make moves, but I expected that they wouldn't. And so I think that, we're going to find out. John Robinson is doubling down. He feels the team is just fine where they are, and we're going to find out. And, it starts with Dallas Monday night. And in my honest opinion, I, have never been really the type to say must-win games, but I think this is a must-win game. Because if the Titans do not win this game, they fall to 3-5. You got New England coming in on the 11th. You might as well just say 3-6. And you're really in big, big trouble. And you're probably pretty much out of the playoff race. You may be still in the division race, but you're pretty much out of the playoff race. And you don't want Houston to get away from you. And of course, they got Demaryius Thomas. And so that made matters even worse. We didn't make the move for him, and Houston did. So, we're going to find out if making a trade comes back to bite them. So we're going to find out. K-True, what's going on with you? This is a must-win game. Dallas is coming in. They came off a bye. They got Amari Cooper. We got to hope Amari Cooper doesn't go off. Because if Amari Cooper and Demaryius Thomas do well for their teams, everybody's going to be looking at John Robinson like, why did you make that move, John? Now, I wouldn't have traded for a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, but I would have really went hard for him. Amari Cooper would change this offense. He would have helped this offense tremendously, but not for a first round pick. So, Dallas coming in, they got a good team right now. You got Dak Prescott. He can run. He can throw the short passes. Maybe not good on the deep ball, but he can still be enough. He's like Marcus in a lot of ways. So, the best way to defeat Dak Prescott is to get after him and do not let him escape the pocket. But I think our number one prime objective in this game defensively, shut down Ezekiel Elliott. I would stack the box heavily. I would put 7, 8 guys in the box and just try to shut down Ezekiel Elliott as much as possible. Make Dak Prescott beat you. And I don't think he could do that. But with Amari Cooper, he could have a little bit better of a shot. You got Amari Cooper, you got Cole Beasley, who's pretty decent. You got Michael Gallup, and stuff like that. So, I mean, they have some decent receivers, but nothing that screams, oh my God, I'm terrified, with the exception of Amari Cooper. You just don't need to let Amari Cooper take over the game. Yes, they have a very, very good offensive line, so you got to try to overload that and, make the Dallas Cowboys offensive line maybe try to block a little bit more than they can. So I think that's something that they're going to have to do offensively. Shut down Ezekiel Elliott. And don't let Dak Prescott escape the pocket and extend plays. On the other side of the ball, they have a nice defense as well. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Jalen Smith. You got Sean Lee. You got Chidobe Awuzie at corner. So they have a nice defense as well. And one thing that we have to do is we got to get back to basics and just play your game. Run the football, set up play action. I don't think their corners are that great. Use the screen game a lot. Derek Henry showed he could catch the passes out of the backfield. So, use that. Let Dion Lewis kind of, wiggle his way around. And I think this is a better chance for our offense to do a little something. But this is a must-win game. And I think the Titans need to offensively find a way to establish the run. Corey Davis, get him the ball early. Get him the ball early in space with some slant routes, with some in routes. Have him come in, make the catch, and let him create some yards after the catch. Same thing with Taywan Taylor. Maybe build his confidence up a bit and just get to Tajay Sharp. He can move the chains and stuff like that. AZ Mick, K True, what's going on, y'all? I'm not going to be much longer because I got to get in here and get to work. But I think this is a game that, like I said, the Titans need to establish the run, get the short, quick passing game going, some dinks and dunks. Defensively, shut down Ezekiel Elliott. Don't let Dak Prescott escape the pocket and just get after that offensive line. Go right at them. Yes, that offensive line is very good, but you do better if you just go at them. Don't be afraid of that offensive line. Yeah, they got La'el Collins and they got Zach Martin and those guys, but don't be afraid to go at them. Go at them and just punch them in the mouth. And that's how we do that. And last but not least, Titan-wise, this is your chance to show you can play football and that you can compete. This is Monday night on a national scale. You got the world watching you. Show the world who you are. Show the world the Tennessee Titans are a viable football team. And that this is a team that is going to be on the rise and not on the fall. So step it up and show the world who you are. Okay? And that's exactly what I feel about that. So, and definitely, I did give out my two-tone blue star of the week from the game. Two-tone blue star of the week has to be a split between Tajay Sharp and Dion Lewis. Both of those guys played extremely well and did a lot of really, really good things. Dunks of the day, I would have to say number one is Kendrick Lewis. Definitely on that. And I have to give a dust of the day to Matt LaFleur because, again, I agree with going for two. I hated the play call. I really hated the play call. And for this week, I got to give a dust of the day to John Robinson for not making a move. I didn't expect him to make a move, but he should have. He really should have made a move. Okay. So I think if he made a move, it could have helped. But I know you got to get value. And you don't want to trade away the draft pick for somebody who may not be on your team next year. But you got to have confidence that you can re-sign them. So that's why you take that risk. But guys, I'm going to get up out and get to work. I may try to do a part 2 tonight, maybe to extend on what I was talking about. But y'all, this has been a quick Titans of Truth. We're going to see y'all Monday night, and we're going to be under the lights of Big D. Let's go get this win.